You want to smell that? It's a smell of a great morning, and it's a Monday. No one has ever made a big difference by being like, everyone else. So be exceptional today, and this week, do something out of the box.
You have brains in your head, right? You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose.
Absolutely. So hey, let's make this week as productive as possible by starting with just the right amount of ingredients to get you cooking this the right way.
Good morning and welcome. It's a brand new week, brand new edition on Wake Up Nigeria. We're about positivity this week. We're going to be pushing you forward with some positive words.
Oh, you
hopefully
bet.
every single morning.
Absolutely.
My name is Titilaya Oyinson.
And of course, my name is Mazino Pil. There's so much planned for you on today's show and indeed the entire week. So do not forget to stream the show live at tvc.com and on Facebook at tvcentertainment.tv.
Send in those comments as soon as you can. We have an amazing hashtag you need to have in your back pocket. Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
And you can also download our mobile app from any Android or iOS store to watch us on your mobile devices from anywhere you might be in the world.
We strongly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, TVC Entertainment, for more videos, especially videos of Mary.
Oh.
And that smile that she always has, especially when she's
Videos
with
of
the
me?
chef. Yes, so.
Titi, so you used to envy me in the kitchen. Well, you get to be in
Before.
the kitchen sometimes.
Before. I did not deny it.
You know, Mazino had his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
I was wondering why until he took them out.
I've got cash, just cash in here. But Mary, you look absolutely stunning. You always do, and I gave you a very special compliment this morning, didn't I?
Yes,
It's
you
okay.
did.
You can tell them what I said this morning. It's all right. Tell them.
I'm not going to tell them.
Please.
Why not?
I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to bask in it, and I'm going to feel good.
Well, you look fantastic as
Thank
always.
you.
All right, then. Hopefully, I'll get a compliment too.
But I gave you one as well.
No.
I talked about how.
No, hey, we have to start the show. Now, to shake you up this Monday, we have an electrifying musical performance from Afrofusion artist Black D.
For SME today, Ifai Mbachu, the manager of Libernex Limited, will be joining us on the couch. So hey, stick around for some handy tips when it comes to running a business.
And finally, we lend our voice to raise more awareness on mental health with Chinonso Akbono, the coordinating manager at Freedom Foundation. There's going to be a packed show today.
Absolutely.
Really packed. Marvelous Monday. I have to say, Mike,
You look like
you almost burnt me from that distance. Wow.
like 3 times taller than last week.
Wow.
It's the fact stripes make you taller, and it's a good thing. What is that?
You just smart, you're using to talk it.
But you look good.
Should we
I
spray you?
love it.
Should we
It's
spray
beautiful.
you? Is that what you need?
You would need to watch some party. They need to spray, they should throw.
Throw,
They stone it.
throw more.
Yes, when you spray, it's in units.
Hey.
When you throw,
But
it's
I
in
love it,
bundles.
man. I love
It
it.
looks
So use
amazing.
bundles, use bundles.
You know what I'm gonna do the next time I go
Don't
shopping?
be doing single notes.
Next time I go shopping, I promise myself I'm going to do stripes. I've always run away from stripes because I think they make me look a bit too tall.
Okay.
So I've always run away from them. But after seeing Mike, I think I want to compete. I think I want to do this. You look fantastic.
Compete. That
I love
word
it.
compete is a deep word. Oh.
No, it's healthy competition.
Why is it doing her eyes like this?
Deep.
Why do you
Because,
say that?
I don't know, there's just something about a guy in stripes that makes
Really?
you feel like when he brings out his wallet, there's a lot
No,
of
they don't do
money.
wallets these days.
Wow. What do they do?
Put your card number.
Aha! So much
your
happened
card
over the
number.
weekend,
Yes, so
guys.
much.
It was fantastic. Absolutely loved. Well, mostly staying at home and then part of the time with the mechanics because I chose to do everything mechanical this weekend. And there was that fun bit. I don't know if you saw it. I shared this guy who actually had 19 kids and named the last one Enough. Mary said something funny. She said the next one will be called Is, and the next one will be called Enough. So Enough is enough.
Okay. So, but the issue now is 19 children.
Yeah.
19. Goodness
You know, those
me.
days, that's wealth. That's
Tell you
wealth.
what, let's do the news, and I think Titi's all ready, or rather Mary's all ready for that one. So let's go on and see what's been happening in the world of news.
Thank you very much. Time for the news updates on Wake Up Nigeria. After 4 failed attempts to reform the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has announced the dissolution of the subunit of the police force in Nigeria. He made this known during a press briefing yesterday, days after nationwide protests calling for the security outfits to be scrapped over allegations of brutality and human rights violations. But the question on the lips of many Nigerians is what next after the dissolution of SARS, and who takes up the role of combating violent crimes? Sifon Essien has details in this report.
The journey started years back on Twitter and gained traction on other social media platforms with various hashtags. Prominent among them is #EndSARS, condemning police brutality and demanding an end to the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Several attempts in the last 3 years to reform SARS didn't pull through. Recent campaigns online and on the streets in several cities in Nigeria against the police squad attracted some international attention and brought the police authorities under immense pressure. That pressure finally paid off on Sunday afternoon as Inspector General of Police announced the dissolution of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which was established in 1992 to tackle violent crimes.
The Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigeria Police, otherwise known as SARS, is hereby dissolved across all formations, the 36 state police commands, and the Federal Capital Territory, where they currently exist. 2. All officers and men currently serving in the unit are to be deployed with immediate effect.
He says a new strategy will be worked out to fill in the role the dissolved squad had been playing.
New policing arrangements to address the offenses of armed robbery and other violent crimes that fall within the mandate of the dissolved Special Anti-Robbery Squad shall be presented in due course.
The decision is cheering news to the campaigners against SARS, but elsewhere the reactions are varied.
Sometimes you will think that being a policeman gives you all the knowledge of law and order. No. Sometimes the citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria, the civil society organization, the NGO and other organs may have a relevant point that will help the system to reform the system better.
They have actually been addressed, they have been confronting violent criminal, armed robbery, kidnapping and other violent crime. So they have been useful. It's a very effective unit, except that some of the officers and men have gone overboard. And that after that is checked, the SARS will still be useful to society.
There's anxiety to know what step the police will be taking to fill in the gap for SARS. Now that the Special Anti-Robbery Squad has been dissolved, what many Nigerians are eager to know is what strategies the police will be coming up with to ensure that there are no gaps in combating violent crimes such as armed robbery. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
From there, we move straight to Ondo State, where the governor-elect Rotimi Akeredolu has described his re-election for a second term in office as an eloquent testimony to the degree of his acceptance by the people of the state. The governor spoke from his country home in Owo, moments after he was declared duly elected in Saturday's election. He noted that his victory was made possible through the grace of the Almighty God. Ayodeji Muradeyo reports.
That was what the GRA residents of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu turned into shortly after he was declared winner of last Saturday's election. His colleagues from Osun, Lagos and Kogi State joined to savor the sweetness of the victory. Governor Akeredolu, in his victory speech, appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo for their support and love, and saluted the president's courage in the defense of the tenets of democracy. He assured that his administration would not be distracted in the discharge of its sacred duty.
We hold this as a sacred trust to continue in a style of leadership which I believe this is more or less a validation of that style of leadership. I thank you. I thank everybody.
He congratulated the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Eyitayo Jegede, for participating in the election.
We have gone through this race, and I call on all of them to come and let us support each other to make this state great. Everybody has his own part to play. Everybody has his own qualities.
Some leaders of the party, including some governors, described Governor Akeredolu's victory as well deserved.
From Akure, it's clear to me that Ondo people know what is right, they've done what is right, and they've given him opportunity to continue his good work. And I want to thank him, thank his family, thank everybody in Ondo State, and thank all my brothers that are.
Kogi State requires and we need good neighbors. This is one of my neighbors that is joining me once again, and here is another neighbor that is seated here today, and I am being surrounded by APC and wonderful friends and brothers.
As an observer, I observed the exercise mostly from the south, and the exercise, first of all, is peaceful. All of us will agree to that, and it's relatively very free and fair, and people were allowed to come out and exercise their franchise.
You know, the re-election of Governor Akeredolu in Ondo State is actually a blessing, trust me, to the people of Ondo State.
Thereafter, the governor took to major streets of Owo to celebrate with his supporters. Commercial motorcyclists, children, youth, and the elderly joined in the street celebration. The governor, accompanied by the deputy governor-elect, could not hide his joy as he danced in a motorcade.
Akeredolu Moradoyo, TVC News, Owo, Ondo State.
Oh, Nadal, the Spanish beast on clay. But let's take a look at the dailies, the headlines for this morning on Monday here. Let's know what's been happening over the weekends and what you should expect to read in the papers this morning. So we're going to start from the Daily Trust this morning. Of course, it is a Monday, October 12th, 2020. For the Daily Trust, we have first big headline. As protests spread, IGP scraps SARS to create new anti-robbery unit. Activists express doubt over the solution. Mayor pronouncement, not enough. Amnesty International. Disbandment won't change anything, security experts say. And to the bottom of that, Ondo governorship, how Akeredolu defeated Jegede Ajayi, PDP, ZLP, to make positions known very soon. The photo story here is one that has become the iconic shot that will continue to go down in history, that would represent this instance in Nigerian history. That's one of Aisha Yusufu during the SARS protests in Nigeria. And plenty of this image has gone around social media. And I think, well, like I said, she's the poster child for the instance. At the bottom of the page, SARS, Ganduje suspends media aid for criticizing Buhari. Minister Monarch rescue as hoodlums vandalize palace in Osun. And cultists rape 13-year-old girl in Lagos. That's a sad story. At the top of the Daily Trust, Buhari's gesture stirs fresh demand for National Assembly budget details. And bandits kill 9, raise Kaduna village in fresh attack. FG insists on water resources bill. We move on now to the Vanguard newspaper with plenty of headlines here. Big one. IG disbands SARS, pledges advanced police reforms. Gbaja Hills, Buhari, IGP for dissolving SARS. Release all SARS protesters. NBA tells IGP. Police assaults Arise TV cameraman shortly after ban on SARS. And I'll never be part of any status quo where citizens' right to life becomes negotiable, says Bakari. SARS fundamental to pursuit of peace, tranquility, Zamfara State Governor, and more indeed. At the bottom of the page, Ondo Akeredolu floors Jegede Ajayi, and a look at the stats on there. Beats Jegede with 97,039 votes, extends olive branch to opponents, pledges not to betray people's trust. We're studying results, says Jegede Ajayi. Buhari, Oshomole, APC, others congratulate Akeredolu. Results reflect people's wish. Yega Africa. And at the top of the Vanguard newspaper, we'll soon expose those feeding fat on IPPIS, says ASU. FG earmarks 152 billion naira for electricity. Information Minister plans to spend 1.3 billion naira on travel, refreshment and others. And gunmen kill 12, injure 7 others in Kaduna. Ganduje suspends media aid over verbal attacks on Buhari. At the middle of the page, a chart there showing the population of extremely poor persons in Nigeria as it hits 102 million. This is by NECA, and indeed, that is about half the population of Nigeria. Global statistics expected to reach 150 million by 2021, says the World Bank, and government must give support to organized business to strive, flourish, tackle insecurity, says the economists, analysts, and improving ease of business will attract investment, says experts. Go figure. Nothing sinister about water bill, says minister and Vasti lecturer, wife, 3 children, 2 others killed in Benue auto crash. Very sad story from over the weekend. SARS deviated from original concept, says Midenda, founding commander. We move on now to our third paper this morning, the Daily Independent. Fresh debt burden may push Nigeria into prolonged recession. 2021, 4.23 trillion naira borrowing to inch Nigeria's debt to 35.3 trillion naira. A look at the stats from the elections over the weekend at the Ondo governorship elections. The results here at the bottom showing the total sum of results or votes that came in and the photo story, of course. Rotimi Akeredolu, governor Ondo State. His wife, Betty Boyega Oyetola, governor Osun State. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, governor Lagos State, chairman APC, all of them in that picture as they celebrate Akeredolu's win. And the nation, Akeredolu, it's awesome. Governor re-elected in a massive pan-state victory. Buhari APC governors excited. That's as much as we can take this hour. Do stay tuned and with us because the next hour will bring you more. So, hey, welcome once again. Wake Up Nigeria first hour. We've got more coming up after this break.
Hello and welcome back. Now, the rains, of course, have been scattered here and there. You need to be extremely careful with how you manage your movement. That's why we're here to ensure that you get to your intended destinations safe and sound and, of course, on time. Speaking of time, the time frame between Bonny Camp and Bega bus stop this morning just happens to be about 36 minutes, which feels like it's really fast, right? 36 minutes if you're leaving Bega and heading towards the island. The only trouble spots you'll find really occur after the Ebutemeta turnoff on 3rd Mainland Bridge. Now, that is, of course, because of the detour, because of the construction that's happening on the bridge. It was closed for 2 days during the weekend, but it's opened up now. So if you are deciding to go to the island right now, you want to take Bonny Camp area, not to worry, it's going to get you there in 36 minutes. Should you decide to take the Echo Bridge route, that's talking about the Ikorodu Road, Ojota Ikorodu Road route that goes through Surulere, past the stadium, onto Echo Bridge, you're going to have a 52-minute journey ahead of you. Now, yeah, if you ask me, that is a slower route, just saying. But I have quite a few other destinations to look to. Hopefully the guys in the kitchen have some tweets before I get there.
We're enjoying your voice so much.
Yeah. And your look.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
It's all good. We've got a couple of hotspots we want to alert you guys to this morning as you set out for a Monday on your Monday business coming from inside of Ajigule and a Mobile Road especially. It's you're going to meet some traffic as you get onto the Jara-Olokpa Bridge. So just brace up for that one, but nothing to worry about as it's just regular kind of traffic. In fact, it's less traffic than you're used to. And the Marina's got a bit of traffic at the CMS end of it, but once you're through that, maybe just 2 minutes, you're out. 3rd Mainland Bridge has got plenty, and I mean plenty of traffic coming off of the weekend where it was shut as people are hurrying to work on a Monday. And on the other side, heading toward the mainland, there's plenty of pedestrian traffic on it. I don't know if people are allowed to walk across the 3rd Mainland Bridge now, but there's a note that there are plenty of people who are just simply doing that. I wonder why.
Because of the traffic.
Perhaps, maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
That's as much as I have.
Well, for Follow Lasma, I don't have an update from less than an hour ago, but from what I can see as at an hour ago, they say traffic is good from Iyano Dokpemu through Cement and Mangoro bus stops, and from Ashade through Sule Junction to Ile-Zik. Traffic from Ile-Zik through Ajayi Farm to Ikeja along is good. National also good. And well, basically that's it. There was a tipper that actually broke down at Ajayi Farm, but Lasma has cleared it. So
okay, that's good.
I guess it's quite good right now. Titi, over to you. Let's hear more.
Yeah, all in all, the roads are looking quite free. If you're coming from Ajah heading to Bonny Camp as well, that's on the Lekki Ekpe Expressway. It's going to take you about 41 minutes if you take the actual expressway and you don't take any of the detours that have been provided, because of traffic. Major trouble spots, of course, Ajah Junction, then, of course, Marwa Junction. Some people like to call it the square roundabout. It's no longer a roundabout now. I know it's a major junction, but that particular area does seem to slow you down. Of course, Freedom Way Junction also seems a bit slow at this time, which is to be expected. And then, of course, the Lekki Phase 1 toll gate. But all in all, a 41-minute journey if you're heading to Victoria Island right now from Ajah. I'm going to be taking one of those routes to get to the kitchen. Hopefully it takes me 41 seconds.
Yeah,
and
you
not
know,
minutes.
Just to round up on the updates you gave, I've been seeing some tweets on social media claiming that today Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be blocked. I guess that explains why most people are rushing to work.
Oh, okay.
Onisha Bridge to be blocked, Airport Road Abuja to be blocked, Airport Road Ikeja to be blocked, Lekki Ikoyin Link Bridge to be blocked, as well as Third Mainland Bridge.
Wow, what's happening to all the bridges?
So I guess the protesters have decided to continue with that too.
So guys, a lot happened on Instagram and social media.
But then yesterday now, there's been, we also posted it, the IGP has announced the dissolution, you know? Yeah. So he announces the immediate dissolution of SARS and redeployment of all officers serving within the unit, while an investigation into activities will be undertaken with civil society organizations and corporates will be punished.
Well, many people just keep citing 17, 18, 19, different uses of words, disbandment and all that. So I guess that's why people are really wary of. But let's move away from this.
Yeah.
Let's move away from that.
There's something you really
There's
want
actually
to talk
so
about.
much that happened over the weekend.
Yes.
Like, so much.
Oh, by the way, let me just say, Nadal Djokovic, fantastic match. Absolutely enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a beast on clay. You guys saw it, didn't you? Fantastic stuff, wasn't it? Oh,
Djokovic was tired.
Yeah.
238 million to be precise. And you have to
That is
wonder what
amazing.
you're going to do with that kind of currency. He actually congratulated his fans, said, hey, thank you very much. And he's so humble about it, which is something I like about The Rock. He's not as,
So there are 3 reasons why you can follow The Rock.
Because of what he said.
3 reasons. Some follow him because of his fitness. Some follow him because of his acting. Some follow him because he actually loves to motivate people. He motivates people in business and all sorts of things. And he's had an interesting journey. He recently got married.
Oh?
Yes, recently got married.
I thought he's always been married.
Yeah. Hey, there was, honestly, he's just had one of those amazing journeys. And I used to have something called the Rock Clock on my phone, an app.
Where you stalk him.
Yeah, it's an alarm clock.
Stalk.
That's what it sounds
I
like.
actually stalk him, yes,
There you go.
I do. But the thing is, The Rock used to wake me up in the morning. He uses that Rock Clock to wake people up to go and work out. So that was what I started using. So it's like, get up, get to it.
That's nice.
Husky, muscular
great.
voice. And then I get to look at
such a thing for husky,
then I look at the
muscular
6
voice.
packs and I'm motivated and I get up and I want to go and work out. You know? It's a good way to start your day.
When I think of the whole thing, I feel like if Beyonce followed some people, and maybe interacted a bit more,
she could actually.
at one point she was there with Selena Gomez, but now Cristiano Ronaldo has gone.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
The Rock is the number one most followed man in the US, 200 million. Cristiano Ronaldo is 239.
Wow.
You know, so it just shows that sports is something quite important because The Rock, he has a very interesting story. He always wanted to do Major League Baseball. He always wanted to go into sports and all that. Then he had a bad knee or something, and then he was told that, man, you can't, you know, and everything. So he used that as motivation. Okay, So he has a very wonderful story. And that's one of his.
He has a
points.
winery now, has his own clothing line.
He's
everything.
into the whole business thing, and that's good. But on an even lighter note, I shared this with you guys during the weekend, and I wanted to ask you guys, especially you ladies, when you see a man, an okay-looking guy with a stunning, hot, fantastic partner, what goes through your mind? Is it that, he must be very good at certain activities, or that he must be really, really boxed up or rich? Which is it? Let's be honest now.
When you
without,
say okay,
without,
let's just
without
hit the nail on
sounding.
the head. Someone who doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
Yes. You know,
So
who's not
like,
as
so he's
stunning
with
as
a
The
girl
Rock, for
that's like a
instance.
10, and then he's like a 5.
Or a 4. Or let's just say a 3.
Maybe a 2.
Maybe a 2. Keep going now.
God, you
But
guys are
what
mean.
goes through your mind? What do you think?
There has to be something. I don't know. But I actually don't think of the
It's
money
one
thing
of two
first.
options.
I don't think of the money first. I think there must be something this baby's getting from this guy that she cannot get anywhere else.
That's you being very honest, and I
Yeah.
applaud you.
Yeah, really.
Now,
So-
I can't wait for the messages that's going to come after she just said that.
What?
Don't worry.
What?
Just tag us, Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
What?
What do you think?
What did I say? So, you know,
She's
when I
trying
say
to get academic.
when
See, don't be politically correct. Just say it. Maybe just say it. What do you think?
I don't know. For me, I've always believed that if you guys are a match, you're a match. There's nothing you can do about it. People always have opinion about how one person looks. It also works the other way around, where the girl is, in quotes, just there, and the guy is like all shades of hot, probably even wealthy and all. So, personally, I don't even think anything. That's me. I don't think, is she getting something from me? I don't even look at that.
Simple.
In most cases, I'm always even more interested in their interaction to see if there's a chemistry.
I'm happy that you
So,
said that
I'm
because
not
we don't
really
think about
interested
it.
in- yeah.
But we don't think about the chemistry between people and individualities, how they mix, because people just think it's either this or that. But that one thing, that chemistry that you spoke about and how they interact is actually another thing.
Yeah.
I, for instance, would actually, when I meet a person, I'm more attracted to how you think and how that complements with how I think.
That's a big one.
But Mike has a different opinion.
How you think? Will you see the person's thoughts when you see the person first? Nobody is attracted how you think.
Don't get me wrong.
Will you see the person's thoughts first? You just stand, you see the person's thoughts.
Mike,
you
see,
what?
And this is the
before
thing.
you even see, look. Let's not even deceive ourselves.
notice people until they utter
Before you even open your words, your eyes first. Your eyes are whether not your
maybe because
so
I'm
my
a
point
bookworm,
is,
I'm more interested in what the person has to say. That I don't even really notice people, because when I come into a room, I'm more likely to look down.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit.
Have you heard
6 foot
Have
tall.
you heard
So
Stephen
the
Hawking
truth
talk?
is, see, if there's
The late Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. You be attracted. Why people laughing now?
Like,
Wow.
you know, in most cases,
I'll
when
be
you're
attracted
walking,
to his brain.
when you see such a person, you're like,
would.
okay, what is it about this person? And then the person speaks.
No, but let me say this. Let me say this real quick. I'm going to say this. First of all, I believe that what you look like is your first presentation.
Yeah.
But often we put that ahead of everything else. Interacting with people is actually the biggest biggest unit
All
of
that glitters is not good.
Okay, so that-
we need to take this
That's
break.
all
Don't
this
be
thing you
like
just
that.
said now.
Stay with us.
You think you said something now?
Really? Warn
Just
me?
warn her.
Mazido, if not that you're wearing a brown tie today, and I like brown ties, so I'll leave you.
You can't get your hands off of my tie, can you? Good morning once again and welcome. If you're just joining us, then hey, you have missed a very good time. 1 hour gone already. But don't worry, the second hour, it begins now, and we're going to even upstage the last one.
So the question for the week shouldn't be who is going to let me. It's who's going to stop me.
Oh yeah.
Approach the week with a fierce attitude. Can't you see I'm in a hot yellow right now.
Mustard.
I'm ready.
Yeah, be a beast like Nadal. So you can be changed by what happens to you, but you can also be reduced by what would be a choice.
Yeah.
So make sure that you make the right ones.
Well, you've heard all our nuggets of wisdom already. We have quite a few of them. We've packed them ready for you. But there's an exciting 1 hour, 45 minutes coming your way right now. My name is Titilayo.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you can always stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments. Tell him how good he looks.
Thank you.
You know, I'm just fishing for compliments myself. But
You are getting none.
You can use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
And of course, we have an app that you guys can also download, both Android and iOS store. It allows you to watch us from anywhere that you might be in the world. And we remind you once again to also subscribe to our YouTube channel, TVC Entertainment.
Yes, so now we always have a chef in the kitchen, and there's a
let's
special
talk about
recipe.
that.
But Mary is going to introduce us.
Yes, today's chef is none other than Chef Deborah, and she's going to be making magic Somehow she and I are meeting each other for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Because somehow she isn't always there when I'm here. So it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
And it's great to have you on the show again.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're looking forward, fingers crossed, to what's for breakfast this morning.
Ah, yes.
Alrighty then. Can't wait.
Can't.
The kitchen is just such a highlight for me.
No, not just you, everybody, and including the guys behind the cameras and everybody.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Hey, guys, CM, I want to talk about one very iconic, and I talked about this morning, actually, one very iconic image that highlighted the entire weekend and indeed the struggle when it comes to SARS. Aisha Yusufu's iconic image of her with her fist up in the air and people actually talking about the fact that she's a hero and that she even wears a cape. That will always be in the media.
That picture, we've already created memes with it, we've already created captions, we've already created, for me, it's amazing. You know, when you think about, I'm someone that I fantasize a lot. So when I watch Avengers, superheroes, Black Panther, and all of that, I try to put myself. I don't know if it's the same with other people.
Context into all of that.
Yeah, so I put myself into it. That like, superheroes, man. The world does need it. Everybody needs a hero at some other time. You know, I remember Mariah Carey song, when a hero comes along. You know, so when I saw that image and all that,
was what came to mind.
Goosebumps. Like I felt so good. I felt good. I just felt like. Yeah, and then she had a fist up, and what was happening here and all of that. Man, that's what a candid shot.
Yes, it's very, very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
It is. I did like it.
You know, the thing is, on the alternative side, there were some other images that were not so inspiring.
They were not so inspiring and all that. But then, whichever way, the IGP has responded. So kudos. Considering that, like I said, when we mentioned something here, I said it was about reformation because they are the same people that will still be there. So yes, maybe
you said that last week.
Yeah,
actually.
that name has struck so much fear in a lot of people. But hey, come on, we can be where we want to be.
Thanks
That's
to
just
the
what
IGP and everybody who actually lend a listening ear to the situation. It's good to see that there's positive response coming to the plight of people.
At this point, it's time for Mary to take the news update.
Because 8 persons have been confirmed dead after a building collapsed in the Obalende area of Lagos State. The fatalities include 7 men and 1 woman, while many were severely injured and have been transferred to the hospital for treatment. Now, according to the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, the building was under construction when it partially collapsed. Rescue operations are ongoing as joint responders work quickly to pull out more victims. The Obalende building collapse is coming just weeks after a 3-story building caved in the Ejigbo area of the state.
This building has been sealed by the government agency. And when they sealed a building, the purpose of it is that they are not sure that they do not comply with what we call the building code. So the building needs to be subjected to material integrity tests.
The police are there, LASEMA, LAPCA, NEMA, fire brigade, fire service, everyone is here. So far, there are still evidences that there are people still under this rubble. We are still going to be here.
Personnel of the Lagos Island General Hospital are attending to the persons injured after a building located at 62 Ondo Street in the Obalende area of Lagos State collapsed. As mentioned earlier, 6 males and 2 females now were confirmed dead on the spot. Now, according to the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, as you just heard, the building was under construction when it partially collapsed. The Obalende building collapse is a very unfortunate one coming after a 3-story building caved in the Ejigbo area of the state. Away from that, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, reported 163 new cases of coronavirus overnight, taking the country's total number of cases to 60,266. Lagos State recorded the highest number of cases with 113 new infections, followed by Kaduna with 21 new cases. So far, 51,735 people have been discharged, while 1,115 people have died from COVID-19 complications. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Governor Rotimi Akeredolu on his re-election. The president urged the governor to be humble and magnanimous in victory and serve the people of Ondo State even better than he did in the first term, noting, and I quote, "When you serve with heart and might, the people respond in like manner, and we can easily get to where we are headed as a country," end of quote. He also gave kudos to the Independent National Electoral Commission for organizing credible, free and fair election, and to security agencies which ensure that orderliness was enthroned and maintained. To Kaduna now, a yet-to-be-identified number of people have been killed by bandits in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. The bandits invaded Kadai and Kidada communities in their numbers on Friday and Saturday to cause the mayhem. Houses were razed, properties destroyed in the attack, though security operatives and local vigilantes in the area are said to have also dealt a cruel blow to the bandits. Now, while ground troops and the police gave them a run for their money, the Nigerian Air Force deployed a fighter jet to the general area for immediate offensive against them. And the Kaduna State government appreciated the move against the enemies of peace. And that's it on the news updates for this hour. Up next is sports.
Oh, wow. I must tell you guys something. Every single morning, Titi has a special brew that she brings in. I don't know what's in it, but hey, once you try it, you can't give it up. It's fantastic. But welcome back. Let's do the headlines once again this morning for a Monday here, 12th of October, 2020, after such an exciting weekend, I must say. Starting from the nation this time. Big headline here, Akeredolu, "It's awesome," he says. Following is the picture right smack in the middle of the paper there. "Sweet victory, Governor Akeredolu." This was from yesterday after he was announced the winner of the Ondo elections. Governor re-elect in massive pan-state victory. Buhari APC governors excited. We were elated to receive a scorecard through the statewide plebiscite. The resounding victory throws an open challenge. We have noted the few dissenting voices of protest. We heard them loud and clear. Just an excerpt there from his words. At the top of the Nation paper this morning, big support for sack of SARS by IG, reforms coming. Find that on page 8. Will make for very interesting read this morning. New electricity tariff suspension extended. And investors await third quarter results. Business page from page 15. Village head, 12 others killed in attack on Kaduna villages. Find that on page 6. If you go to the bottom of the page, you'd find stats from the results from the Ondo elections on there. You might want to take a look at some of the specifics to the instance. We move on now to the Daily Independence. Fresh debt burden may push Nigeria into prolonged recession. 2021, 4.28 trillion naira borrowing to inch Nigeria's debt to 35.3 trillion naira. And a look at the photo story again is one of Governor re-elect Rotimi Akeredolu after the announcement of his victory. And Nigerians hail disbandment of SARS, urge overhaul of police force. IGP raises team to probe alleged cases of human rights violation. To the side of that, insurers fear 3.124 trillion naira FG debt servicing may put premium in 2021. And new NCAA Act. Stakeholders urge stronger economic regulation, retention of 5% TSC and CSC. Ondo gubernatorials, civil society condemns massive vote buying. At the very top of the Daily Independence, my re-election reward for hard work and dedication, says Akeredolu, wins 15 out of 18 LGAs and 6 die in Lagos building collapse. The Vanguard this morning here, IG disbands SARS, pledges advanced police reform. And also a look at the population of extremely poor persons in Nigeria as it hits 102 million by NECA. Government, or rather global statistics, expected to reach 150 million by 2021, says the World Bank, and improving ease of business will attract investments, say experts. To the side of that headline, nothing sinister about water bill, say minister, And varsity lecturer, wife, 3 children, 2 others killed in Benue auto crash. This was very sad news from yesterday. SARS deviated from original concept as Midenda founding commander says. Midenda founding commander rather. And at the very bottom of the page, stats again from the elections from yesterday. And finally, on the Daily Trust, IGP scraps SARS to create new anti-robbery unit. Activists express doubt over dissolution. Mere pronouncement not enough, says Amnesty International, and disbandment won't change anything, security experts say. Ondo governorship, how Akeredolu defeated Jegede Ajayi, PDP's LP to make provisions known soon. The very bottom of the page, NSARS, Ganduje suspends media aid for criticizing Buhari, and Minister Monarch rescued as hoodlums vandalized palace in Oshu and cultists rape 13-year-old in Lagos. And once again, that very iconic photograph of Aisha Yusufu during the NSARS protest in Abuja. This, like I said from before, will definitely be an iconic photograph that will continue to resound in the annals of history. And that's it for the headlines this morning here for a Monday. Do stay tuned because we've got more coming your way. At the garden, we've got fitness. Let's get that blood pumping. And let's give you some,
Thank you so much for staying with us. It is time for us to do some cooking in the kitchen. And to take us on this ride this morning is Chef Deborah. Chef Deborah of Messy Fresh Foods. You know, the first time I saw Messy Fresh Foods, I was like, fresh foods, like, okay, do you sell, Nigeria now? When you hear fresh food, you're thinking frozen food like fish, chicken. Does that add to what you do?
I don't sell.
You don't sell. It's okay. So what do you do?
I cook.
Just cooking?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so the fresh food is just, okay, the food is fresh.
Yes.
Nice. All right, let's talk about the ingredients. But before we do so, what are we making for breakfast?
We're making minced meat sauce.
Minced meat sauce, okay?
Yeah, with white rice.
With white rice.
Yeah.
Really tasty. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients.
Okay, here we have bell peppers.
Okay.
That's the yellow, the green, and the red.
Okay.
Then the vegetable oil.
Okay.
We have the minced meat here.
Okay.
Then over here we have soy sauce.
Okay.
This oyster sauce.
Okay.
We have chili sauce,
Okay.
ketchup, salt, and white pepper.
White pepper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over here we have the rice. That's the carrots, the diced carrots.
Okay.
These I'll be using for the rice.
Okay.
Then
So this one is for the rice.
Then
This one is for the stir fry.
yes.
Okay.
They have tomato. This is for the plating actually.
Okay.
Then the
Onions.
pop onions.
Okay.
Then I have my celery here.
Okay.
And
Garlic.
my garlic. Yeah.
So the celery is also for plating, or are we putting in the food?
No, plating.
Okay, so let's get started. What's the first thing we're doing?
Okay, we're going to stir fry.
Okay. All right, so if you take a look at your screen right now, you'd see today's ingredients for our breakfast, talking about minced meat sauce and white rice. So you might want to scribble those down while we go on with the cooking.
So,
Okay. So the oil is going to heat up really quick.
Yeah.
So we put in the onions.
yeah.
Okay, so I noticed you didn't cut up your garlic. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yeah, I'm just going to grate it.
Great.
Yeah.
What's the difference between cutting it up and grating it?
I feel grating it makes it tiny, it's so smaller, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So you'll be able to, chew
Okay.
instead of, biting the garlic
Chunks. Okay, okay. So that makes you avoid the chunks, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you put in the onions, you grate the
yes,
garlic.
I'm going, yeah.
Okay. Then what goes in after? Okay, let's see. Let's see. So I've come to find that when it comes to getting the right taste, the aroma and everything, you just need your ginger,
And
garlic and onions. Even if you want to do away with the ginger, the garlic is like magic when it comes to aroma.
Okay.
It does a lot of work for you. It makes your food smell a lot better.
So I'm going to go with this now.
Okay. So grate it.
Yeah, okay.
So as Chef Deborah said, the purpose of this is to ensure that, yes, you still get to chew it, but you don't have large chunks in your mouth. Not many people are fond of chewing garlic. So this is another way to make it easier on you. Okay. So now that we put in the onions and the garlic, what happens?
So the next thing we are going to put now is the minced meat.
The minced meat, okay. So are we going to be boiling it up like meatballs?
No,
or?
we put it, then we allow it to turn brown, cooked.
Okay.
We allow it to turn brown. So after that, then we add the
vegetable,
soy sauce and all that.
Okay. This looks like a very easy meal.
Very easy.
Very easy. So if I was to make this, especially with the amount of meat, but how many people can this serve?
This can go with 5.
5 people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So we're just going to stir fry till it turns brown.
Now, when we talk about serving, I've realized that what we refer to as serving in Nigeria is quite different from many places. Now, for many people, a serving might be like maybe, that spoon that has like a cup-like shape.
Yeah, that's 7.
Yeah, so you put one of it, or at most 2 of it, and it's not usually the large one. There's a large one that I've only seen in Nigeria.
And that one, they call it...
So that one is probably a combination of 2 that you get elsewhere, and then you call it half a serving, and then you put the 2 together and you say it's 7.
7. But I know 7, when you're serving, that 1 spoon is enough, plus your sauce or your vegetable you're going to use is enough for you to eat.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Not for many of us. So many of us. There used to be this comedian, Akeredolu. Like, you just finish it. Like, you just sit down and you just keep eating.
I just...
reading or watching movies or something, and then you just get carried away.
I feel it depends on the size of the tummy.
The size of the tummy, or the desire or determination of the eater.
I know some people have a big
We're going to go
bowl in
on
their tummy.
with our conversation and, of course, the cooking here, while Titi and Mazino tell us what's happening this week in history.
I'll tell you what's happening here. This week in history, we get to find out exactly what Titi puts in her tea. Because it's infectiously addictive.
You're not the first person talking about this tea. Yeah, the recipe is from history.
It's from history. We'll get to do that maybe next week when we talk about tea and all.
Wow.
Now today, on This Week in History, we want to take a trip down memory lane.
Yes,
October 17th, I'll let you begin by telling us about this very interesting
Yes, a very interesting
story.
day. In 1986, Wole Soyinka, Nigerian playwright and poet and essayist, becomes the first African to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. He was described as one who has a wide cultural perspective with poetic overtones, fashions the drama of existence. He was the first African to be honored in that category, and after studying in Nigeria and the UK, he worked with the Royal Court Theatre in London. He went on to write plays that were both produced in countries and in theatres all over the world, and he also took it to radio. He took an active role in Nigeria's political history and its struggle for independence from Great Britain. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he was arrested by the government of General Yakubu Gowon and put into solitary confinement for 2 years. In October 1969, when the war came to an end, amnesty was proclaimed, and Soyinka, as well as other political prisoners, were freed. And it might interest you to know that his mother was one of the most prominent members of the influential Ransom Kuti family. She was the daughter of Reverend Canon J.J. Ransom Kuti. Amazing, amazing individual.
Fantastic stuff. Now, very interesting. Have you met him before?
No, I haven't. I haven't had the pleasure yet. I almost get to so many occasions. I hear he's about to arrive at an event,
And then you're
and
out.
he's about to leave, or I just arrived when he's leaving. Oh, goodness me.
He's
It's
a
always-
very calculative speaker, never rushes his words. My impression. October 15th, 1920. Let's talk about Mario Puzo, Familiar? Well, of course, American novelist, The Godfather, Cotton Club, Earthquake, remember that one? Born in New York City, he was an American author, screenwriter, and also journalist. He is known for his crime novels about the mafia, most notably The Godfather in 1969, which he later co-adapted into a 3-part movie, a film saga directed by Francis Ford Coppola. He received the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for the first film in 1972 and Part 2 in 1974. Puzo also wrote the original screenplay for the 1978 Superman film. I bet you didn't know that.
Yeah.
His last novel, The Family, was released posthumously in 2001, October. And that was...
Yeah, that's Mario Puzo there. Now, The Godfather is such an iconic movie. Let's see this clip. Oh, we couldn't catch the clip.
Just be myself. Godfather, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You can act like a man! What's the matter with you? Is this how you turn out a Hollywood Pinocchio that cries like a woman? What can I do? What can I do? What is that nonsense? Ridiculous.
Nah.
Powerful stuff.
Love the movie.
Powerful.
Marlon Brando, by the way, had cotton in his cheek just to get that, you know, that feel, that look, that character going.
And the voice.
Love the book even more. Oh, there are details in the book that you don't see in the movie. Trust me, it is, I'm not going to tell you, but some people are really endowed.
Wow. You went there.
Read the book. Read the book.
So, the whole series of books, and then the fact that the final book, The Family, was released after he passed away, was very, very significant. We're still on literature, though. It's very important times, October in literature. October 16th, 1847, Charlotte Bronte's book, Jane Eyre, was published. Now, you might not know the book, maybe you've heard the name, but it follows the experiences of its heroine, including her growth to adulthood and her love for Mr. Rochester. He was the brooding master of Thornfield Hall. Now, the novel revolutionized prose fiction in that the focus on Jane's morale and spiritual development is told through an intimate first-person narrative where actions and events were colored by psychological intensity. Charlotte Bronte has been called the first historian of private consciousness with a strong sense of Christian morality at its core, and is considered by many to be ahead of its time because of Jane's individualistic character and how the novel approaches the issues of class, sexuality, religion, and feminism. Charlotte Bronte is considered one of the 100 ranking most influential novelists of all time. And she's 10 at the beginning of the novel and about 19 or 20 by the end of the book.
Interesting. My sisters wouldn't let me be. They always made sure that we saw it because they were seeing it, so I had to see it. So that was my first introduction into feminism, actually. And I was very young. Rochester, Mr. Rochester, he died at the end of it, didn't he? And that was my first introduction to mortality as a kid. I'm like, oh, the star of the show died. I actually felt pained that he did. Loved his character in a very...
It was just... so the fact that it happened in the 1800s, feminism has been a thing for that long. And Charlotte Bronte was the first person to actually put it in print. And she even had to submit it, acting like a man. She acted like it was a man submitting the book initially. So, you know what? There's just so much you can learn on that one. You should check it out if you can.
This week in history, 1923, Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio founded. The company was founded on October 16th, 1923 by brothers Walt and Roy Disney as the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio, and also operated under the names the Walt Disney Studio and Walt Disney Productions before officially changing its name to Walt Disney Company in 1986. The company grew to establish itself as a leader in the American animation industry before diversifying into live-action film production, television, and theme parks. Disney also owns and operates the ABC broadcast network, cable television networks such as Disney Channel, ESPN, E&A networks, and Freeform, publishing, merchandising, music, and theater divisions, and owns and licenses Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, a group of 14 theme parks around the world, by the way.
This was the first animated movie.
Hey, Mickey.
The first animated movie to go into theaters. That was it.
Fantastic stuff this week in history. Glad that you guys could join us. Do stay tuned. We've got much more coming your way after this break, because Wake Up Nigeria
continues.
When it's Monday, you know that it's definitely time for motivation. We've got one of Nigeria's leading business and leadership coaches, Tess Aromesule. Now, she's someone who's passionate about changing the narrative by helping companies and individuals enter new markets and build new networks. Now, we're talking this morning about leveraging on opportunities. It's great to have you, Tess. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So there's this saying that opportunity knocks, that, opportunity comes but once, that when you miss it, you've missed out. But today we're talking about leveraging on opportunities. First of all, do you think that when you miss an opportunity, do we have second chances at some kind of opportunities?
Yes, it's true that opportunity come knocking once, but then there are several times that you can still, even if you didn't get it the first time, you still have opportunities or several chances again, but it just might not be in the same magnitude. So it's always better, like they say, that opportunity meets the prepared mind. So if there's something you're looking out for out there, that you are prepared and ready, kind of like, so that when it presents itself, the chance presents itself, opportunity and time meets, and then boom, the magic happens.
I love that, when it aligns. So let's start with that preparation. How do you prepare for opportunities?
They say, especially I even like to extend that question a little bit by saying, how do you prepare for opportunities, especially in crisis? Because that may be the question in a lot of people's minds this morning, at least in this season that we are in, with the pandemic and all of that. So how do you prepare your mind? How do you prepare yourself? Everything starts with the mind. And like I say, I'm not the author of this quote I'm about to say, but I don't know who the author is, that when the mind is blind, the eyes are useless. So even if you are seeing opportunities and you're just walking and seeing things around, but if your mind cannot recognize what you're seeing, then the eyes are useless. So in trying to leverage opportunities, you have to know that it starts with the mind. Where there's a will, there's a way. But where there is a will and then the mind cannot cultivate a way, then that way is useless. That will is useless. So in trying to leverage opportunities, especially in crisis, your mind first has to be open to see that in this crisis or in this situation, there is a seed in it. The seed for the opportunity is in the crisis. So that's what I'll say to that.
A lot of people always say that it starts with the mind. What are the characteristics of a closed mind, and what does it mean to have an open mind or a mind that is ready for opportunities?
A mind that is ready for opportunities would have listened to us last week when we talked about emotional resilience. And it's a mind that is adaptable. A mind that looks at a situation and be like, oh my God, so this is where we find ourselves now. Okay, it is not exactly how I planned it to be, but how do we go about adapting it to meet the current situation? A closed mind will be like, oh my goodness, my life has just ended. My projection for this year was X, Y, Z, and look at where I am. I'm doomed, I'm dead. It starts to be more despondent than even trying to look upwards and to see outside that. And we see a lot of companies who took opportunities of that. When, during this pandemic, some people who were clothiers, who were into fashion brands, now started creating things like household items, started creating things like essential items, like sanitizers, nose masks. And so innovation is very key in you moving from that despondent, or should I say that crestfallen or that sad and sorry state to now seeing the opportunity that lies in that crisis and for you to make the most of it, because it starts in the mind. If you don't recognize it in the mind, own the situation and try to sit back and figure a way out, then you're just winking in the dark. No one is really seeing you.
Wonderful. Now, there are times when opportunities come big, like when they come, you can recognize them. But there are other times when the opportunities that have just been lying, that you might not have, you might not be cognizant of. They're just there. They don't knock. They've just been lying there and all of that. And it will take some people maybe some kind of insight to see those kind of opportunities. What would you say to people who maybe opportunities might have just been there, but they've not been able to see those sort of opportunities? Not the type, we're talking about the type that doesn't have that big knock on your door and says, hey, I'm here. You know, the other type, the ones that are hidden and all of that.
The types that are hidden, opportunities, big, small, takes the same mindset. Everything, this mind of ours that we have, is so vast that you can become, or de-become, excuse my English, all starting from the mind. If your mind is not right, you have to take care of this mind. If that mind is not right, even if the opportunity is massive and is looking you in the face, you will never see it. So if you can't see a big one, how can you see a smaller one? But again, if you are, I don't even want to use the word prepared. If your mind still stays, even if it's just a little bit, on the positive side, no matter how minute the opportunity is, at least you'll see some gray or silver lining.
Silver lining,
that,
yeah.
Okay, so it's not all doom, it's not all bad. Maybe in all of this, I can just harness or take this out. So everything, I would say this morning, goes back to the mind and how important that mind is. And a lot of times when we're going through our day, things come, positive, negative. Your job is to flush out what doesn't belong in the kind of mind that you are trying to build. If it doesn't belong there, flush it out. If it's not flushing out, file it away. If it's not being filed, ignore it. It will come nagging. But the thing is, at the end of the day, this thing called your mind is where everything happens. If you win in the mind, you win outward. If you lose in the mind, you would definitely, woefully lose outward as well.
All right, so now, talking about times in crisis now, are you saying that it is absolute that in every crisis, there is a seed of opportunity? Is that fact?
Oh, yes, it's a fact. And we have seen it play out, even in our own economy. How come a bottling company, I don't want to mention their name, a bottling company is now a giant in manufacturing hand sanitizers. They've converted all their billboards around Lagos to advertising their hand sanitizer. If you're frequent, if you are conversant with Lagos, you will know who I'm talking about. And so when you look at that, you see that there was a crisis. And when some of us were crying, oh my God, what am I going to do? They already saw it. A popular clothier, again, turned her clothing. I bet she had bought bales of materials to sew children's clothing. But I mean, life happened. There was a crisis. In that crisis was an opportunity. She started to make nose masks with the materials that she had bought. So in every crisis, there's seed of opportunities there. In every crisis, people's needs still continue, people's wants still continue, people's desires still continue. As long as there is life, there is opportunity there. But it takes some form of innovation when you're in crisis for you to begin to leverage the opportunities that are in it. It took innovation for this bottling company to do what they did. It took innovation for the clothier to do what she did, even in crisis. So yes, it's a fact now that in every crisis, there is the seed of opportunity.
Thank you so much, Tess. That was a
Thank
home
you for
run.
having me.
That was a home run. You ended it on a high. Thank you so much. Looking forward to what you have to discuss next week. All right. So, in every crisis, there's a seed of opportunity. And forget all the facade Mary is giving. There's crisis in that kitchen. Now, I am the seed of opportunity. I'm coming with the opportunity to ensure that everything ends well.
Mike, if you come here,
Mary, that's violence.
If you come here,
domestic violence,
that's what they will see you to. Which crisis?
Okay, let's see what's happening there now.
Okay, welcome again to the kitchen. Chef Deborah still in charge from Messy Fresh Foods. And the rice is ready. We did abracadabra on it, in case you're wondering. Okay, so that's the rice. You have carrots?
Yeah.
And celery in it, right? Okay. Okay, so instead of the usual green peas and all, we could replace them with celery, which is actually very good for the health.
Okay.
Okay, so stir fry going on there. Can I take this off? I think it's ready.
You can.
Okay. So far so good. Tell us what we've done with the stir fry.
We are done with the mince.
Okay.
So I just added the carrot now.
Okay, so first we heated oil, onions, garlic, and then the minced meat, and now carrots.
Yeah. So I'll allow the carrots to stay for about 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
Then
to reduce the crunchiness.
Yes.
Okay.
So the bell peppers will go in.
Okay. At what point do we put all of this?
After the bell pepper.
Oh, so we put in the bell pepper, and then this will be ready to go.
Yes.
Now, you were telling me something about celery earlier. Tell me more about it.
Okay, actually, it helps with, it helps to reduce the sugar level when it's too much for the body. Then it helps for people suffering from arthritis.
Oh, wow, okay.
Too. I actually read some things about it. It's medicinal.
Very medicinal.
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay, so this seems to be almost ready to have our peppers going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. So it looks like we're going to be having more vegetables than the the minced meat, which is very good because that's healthy.
Yeah,
Vegetables are very, very, very healthy. So if I want to be adventurous, would it be good for me to put in celery, green peas,
Yeah,
sweet corn?
Yeah.
Maybe even do something crazy like adding sardines to it, even though there's minced meat in it.
No, that it's adding sardine will take it off from the normal. Yeah, the main recipe you're making, the main thing you're doing is out of it already.
Okay, so we're pouring in all of the spices.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the meal will soon be ready. I'm so happy about this. It's quick, easy, great stuff for the children, especially with the colors in the rice now that the schools have resumed. I could go on and on about it, but this hour has ended, bringing us to the end of the second hour on Wake Up Nigeria. 45 minutes more to go. Stay with us as we take this break. We'll be right back.
Some say the third time is the charm, and we intend to deliver on that promise. It's the last 45 minutes of the third lap of the #1 breakfast show on TV. We definitely want to keep you charmed.
Yes, we believe you have had a pleasurable time with us here, and as we build to the final climax of the show, we ask that you stay tuned for another, well, interesting 45 minutes to go.
Yeah, quite a lot to talk about. My name is Titilayo Oyinso.
And my name is Mazino Appeal. Do not miss this great experience by streaming live. If you have to leave the house or go anywhere, tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
You can always send in comments and contributions and even prayer messages if you want. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, the TVC app is available for you guys. For download, Apple, Android, anyone you use, hey, go ahead. It enables you to watch us from absolutely anywhere that you might be in the world.
Yes, so. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, let's remind you once again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, TVC Entertainment, so that you can just click that notification bell and get alerts when we post something new.
Now, let's check out what we have left on the show for today, please.
Yeah, we have an electrifying musical performance. Afrofusion artist Black D is going to be in the building. Oh, Vicky and the Brain is coming back.
I don't know if you guys are as excited as we are, but hey, growing up the time period that we did, the Animaniacs, Vicky and the Brain.
Because of what I'm wearing, I cannot show my excitement.
So fantastic reference to Jurassic Park there.
That's just an extension of This Week in History, yeah? So we just trying to let you know that, man. But
courtesy Hulu, we have that trailer there. And Mike, Mike, when Mike saw it.
We'll talk more about this on Friday. We just had to let you see all of this. And, cartoons are, we spoke about how subtle, there are some things that people are putting into cartoons these days that are influencing our kids.
Influencing culture generally.
Influencing culture generally and all of that. Cartoons are an amazing way, not just for kids, but for adults too, to learn a lot of stuff. And yeah, Pinky and the Brain, man. That's just the power of never give up. That's where they got it from.
Never give up.
No matter what happens.
You guys know the funny thing. Do you guys hear each time there's an exclamation I make? I don't know if you guys have heard it when I'm surprised or happy or when I can't afford a laugh. I go narf.
Really? It came from that cartoon?
Yeah. That's the reason. But the truth is, I actually think I invented that word.
My friend saw Bimri, I called him Benny, the small boy. He goes and something happened and he goes, oh no.
Oh no.
And then the guy be playing and somebody like, oh no. I was like, uncle, what's happening? He's like, oh no. So I don't know, there's this
Probably
cartoon.
a cartoon.
There's this cartoon, I don't know, where you have, is it PJ? There's one
PJ Masks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, PJ Masks.
There's one new one, yeah.
Superheroes in pajamas.
Exactly.
Oh, I think I know it. My daughter
And then some
sees
other guy goes, oh no.
See how excited we are because of cartoon.
I'm like, uncle, what's doing you? Like, oh no. Can't barely come down there, wait till the apple. I like, oh no, what's oh no.
Mary is missing out on all this exciting conversation because she has serious business of the news at hand. So Mary, let's get to your news.
You think I'm going to go to the serious Animaniacs? And you know, Pinky and the Brain, I used to love it so much. I'm a cartoon freak even till now. So you can imagine how excited I am right now. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Same thing we do at the top of every hour. Read the news. Now, 8 persons have been confirmed dead after a building collapsed in the Obalende area of Lagos State. The fatalities include 7 men and 1 woman, while many were severely injured and have been transferred to the hospital for treatment. According to the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, the building was under construction when it partially collapsed. Rescue operations are ongoing as joint responders work quickly to pull out more victims. The Obalende building collapse is coming just weeks after a 3-story building caved in the Ejigbo area of the state.
This building has been sealed by the government agency. And when they sealed a building, the purpose of it is that they are not sure that they do not comply with what we call the building code. So the building needs to be subjected to material integrity tests.
The police are there, LASEMA, LAPCA, NEMA, fire brigade, fire service, everyone is here. So far, there are still evidences that there are people still under this rubble. We are still going to be here.
All right. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, reported 163 new cases of coronavirus overnight, taking the country's total number of cases to 60,266. Lagos State recorded the highest number of cases with 130 new infections, followed by Kaduna with 21 new cases. So far, 51,735 people have been discharged, while 1,115 people have died from COVID-19 complications. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Governor Rotimi Akeredolu on his re-election. The president urged the governor to be humble and magnanimous in victory and serve the people of Ondo State even better than how he did in the first term, noting, and I quote, "When you serve with heart and might, the people respond in like manner, and we can easily get to where we are headed as a country." Quote ends. He also gives kudos to the Independent National Electoral Commission for organizing credible, free and fair election, and to security agencies which ensure that orderliness was enthroned and maintained. To Kaduna now, where a yet-to-be-identified number of people have been killed by bandits in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. The bandits invaded Kadai and Kidadan communities in their numbers on Friday and Saturday to cause the mayhem. Houses were razed, properties destroyed in the attack, though security operatives and local vigilantes in the area are said to have also dealt a cruel blow on the bandits. While ground troops and the police gave them a run for their money, the Nigerian Air Force deployed a fighter jet to the general area for immediate offensive against them. And the Kaduna State government has shown appreciation for the move against the enemies of peace. Nigeria's unemployment rate may rise to about 30% by the last quarter of the year due to slow economic growth. That's the latest forecast from PricewaterhouseCoopers. According to the firm's September Economic Alert report, the country's unemployment is estimated to reach 28% in the third quarter from 27% in the second quarter of 2020. PwC also says some of the factors responsible for the rise in unemployment and underemployment rates, including the low level of industrialization in the country, slow economic growth, low employability, and quality of the labor force. The report also reveals that an estimated real gross domestic product of about 280,000 naira is required to absorb a single employed person from the second quarter of 2020 to the fourth quarter of 2020 due to the economic effects of COVID-19, as the GDP will likely shrink by 5.4%. And that's it on the news for today on Wake Up Nigeria. Now let's head over to Mike for the sports news updates.
The company has been in operation for over 4 years now. We'll be finding out what it takes to start and stay afloat in the industry. It's nice to have you in the studio here, Mr. Efai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us on a Monday morning. Now, how long have you guys been on? I actually noted, but do tell us again how long you've been running.
We've been running for about 4 years now.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, very interesting, because what you guys do are very ordinary household items that people need for, well, especially in these times, keeping clean, surfaces, hands, and all of that. But for you personally, and you guys, what you do, what necessitated that you guys had to go into this kind of business? And at what time? What was the moment that you guys decided?
Okay, first of all, I'm an industrial chemist.
Oh, good.
That's what I read in university. And I have always had interest in production of cleaning materials, because they said cleanliness is next to godliness.
True.
Yeah. You know, and to keep clean is not expensive. It's not expensive. So that prompted me to, go into production of a household cleaning material. Well, I have also a cleaning material that is industrial.
Industrial.
Yeah, it's called industrial degreaser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you use it to clean machines that are, working. You use the machines that use grease or oil.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the business side of things here. As someone who perhaps wants to go into this industry, what should I be looking out for? What are the kind of challenges I should be noting? What kind of capital should I be investing?
Okay, fine. It depends on the level you wanna do. This is a business you can start at your backyard.
Oh, okay.
It's a business you can start in a room before you scale it up. What's like hand soap, dishwashing soap, you can start in your house.
Okay. Are these chemicals that would be used not dangerous or hazardous?
Every chemical is hazardous.
Okay.
But it depends on the degree.
Okay.
Every chemical is cancerous. Depends on the degree.
So how do you manage the safety?
So you buy, number one, when you want to buy the chemicals, go to a good company.
Okay.
Dealers, there are good dealers in these chemicals. At least you are sure that they are not contaminated. Number two, you protect yourself. Use your hand gloves, use your
PPEs,
face mask.
all of that, yeah.
All of that. Then thirdly, what to do, because these chemicals are hazardous, you have to stick to the quantity of each ingredient in any of the productions.
Okay.
Because if you use more, it's going to affect people.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So your products are all following the standards, so all standards that have been stipulated by the authorities.
That's what is called standard operating for production. SOP. So you have to get it, and follow it strictly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, but I wanted to talk about the numbers now, the figures. If I'm going to embark on this and want to make good profit from it, even as a beginner, how much should I be looking to invest? Is this something I can do just as a one-man business while I'm looking at expanding? How much would I be investing?
Like I said, if you want to, you can start with one product.
Okay.
For example, you can start with dishwashing.
Okay.
With 20,000. With 20,000, you can start dishwashing in your house.
Okay.
At the back of your house. The chemicals, you buy maybe about 10,000 for chemicals. Then the packaging materials, another 5,000 and some other expenses.
So packaging is a very, very important bit of this business, because you can't just put it inside any plastic bottle and then now start selling.
No.
You have to give detail to packaging.
Yes.
How have you done it in a way that has made your business stand out from all other businesses?
Now,
because
when
there's a
we-
lot of businesses or people out there who are making the same kind of thing.
Yes.
So what makes your packaging any different, or how can anybody learn from that?
Now, when we started, because we started the Akeredolu scale, we had to go to market and buy the normal packaging materials. But at a stage, we wanted to differentiate our own, so we went to the companies that produce these packaging materials and gave our own specifications.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and they produce for you. They're all over, you know, yeah, they produce for you. You know, but for a beginner, you don't need your own packaging now.
Okay.
You can get the general packaging materials in the market.
Just to start off.
Just to start off.
Give
But
people
when
the
you,
experience.
yes, after some time, when you have made some money,
Okay.
you know, you can now go and, you know, get your own packaging, specifically so that people will know you.
Differentiate your
Differentiate,
product from
yes,
others.
your product
So
from
what
other ones.
span of time are we looking at between just beginning in my backyard and getting to that stage where I now
Well,
want
it depends on your marketing.
Okay.
Your sales.
Yeah, let's talk about marketing.
Yes. Now, because you are going into, you know, a business where there is a lot of people.
Yes.
You must have what is called, you know, a USP.
Unique selling point.
Unique selling point that will make your own product differentiate. Is it the price? Is it the color? Is it the perfume?
Fragrance,
The
yes.
fragrance, you know, whatever that will make people, you know, attracted to your product.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, secondly, the labeling.
Yeah.
You know, packaging. It may not be expensive, but the design, let it be attractive.
Yeah.
Eye-catching.
Memorable.
Yes. You know, so you look at those things, you now decide, you know, on your own, what area am I going to differentiate? Because almost every product are the same.
Okay.
You know, but what area am I going to differentiate? Is it when somebody sees my product, the fragrance?
I like that.
I like that. So he goes for it.
What about distribution? Small businesses are often confined to small areas, maybe like Ikosi here or Akeredolu, you know. So how vast is your distribution, and what advice do you have for people when it comes to that?
Like I always say, when you start small, because the market is large, you cover your immediate environment.
First.
As you make more money, you know, you can get your own distribution vans that can take the products outside of your environment, outside of your state, you know. And but as you're expanding, you must be registered with NAFDAC.
Aha. I was coming to that.
Yes, you have to be registered.
How important is this?
How?
How important is this registration?
It is very, very important, because there they will give you the standard
Yes.
of every item you need to produce.
Okay. Okay.
To give you the standard, and you produce your item, the samples, and take to them. They will test it. You also do the testing on your own, the laboratories. You submit everything to them. They test it. If they approve it, they give you, approval, the number which you'll be using.
So how big is Libernex now? How big is your infrastructure, your employee base? Is it growing?
It's growing. We are still in the region of small scale and medium scale, you know, but our target is to a bigger scale in the future. When we started, we were not automated, but now we have machines, you know.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting, Mr. Ifeanyi. I'm sure that you guys are looking to expand into even compete with the big brands and all.
Exactly.
And well, it's great having you here on the show to share all those tiny little insights. We actually are very, very proud of you, and we're looking forward to your business getting even bigger and bigger.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ifeanyi, but you of Libernex Limited, they produce very interesting and great fragrance, or rather, dishwashing, hand washing items, and household items that you can use for cleaning stuff. Like I said, thank you very much for being with us, sir. Looking forward to seeing you again. Do stay tuned. Let's go on a break. When we get back, we've got more happening, especially here on the couch and in the kitchen. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back. Now, Chinonso Akpono is a coordinating manager at a very important place. Now, we're talking about mental health today. Freedom Foundation is something she's very actively involved in. And when it comes to the House of Refuge, that she provides treatment and rehabilitation of drug and alcohol dependent persons, that is a major focus for her this morning. Now, when it comes to all the things she's been into, she went to the Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen. Her career spans over 13 years across different sectors, and we'll be taking a look at mental health awareness this morning. Welcome to the show, Chinonso.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right then. Now, a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about mental health, and it's something that we do as much as possible hope to clear this morning by talking to you. First of all, let's talk about the theme for the Mental Health Day for 2020. I believe it has something to do with providing a lot more finance for mental health awareness. Talk to us.
Well, so the theme for this year basically is greater access, everyone, everywhere. And so the World Health Organization is pushing for everyone to get access to mental health care and for everyone to become much more aware of the importance of mental health, the conversation around mental health, for us to begin to raise awareness, as a people, and for us to begin to work together to be able to come to a place where we are much more stable and we know the issues that are, that concern mental health, and we're better able to manage it. So that's the theme for this year.
Okay. Can we talk a bit about the first 5 signs that someone could have mental health challenges? So there's some things that people are told to look out for, some characteristics of people who might have those challenges. Can we talk a bit about those?
Right. So one of the things, a few of the things people are encouraged to look out for over so there are simultaneous things to look out for over a period of 2, if it persists for 2 weeks. So if a person begins to lose appetite, if a person who will normally, be up and about, who will normally be outgoing, becomes withdrawn over a span, and it's consistent for over 2 weeks. If a person begins to have difficulty sleeping, those are some of the signs you can use to, gauge if someone is having mental health challenges. Apart from having difficulties with sleeping, some people even have diarrhea. Some people become withdrawn. Other examples, for instance, if you know someone who is active on social media, the person just stops talking on social media, or sometimes they use a picture that has the black outlook, like a black picture on their DPs. Those are some of the things, and it's consistent for over 2 weeks. Those are some of the signs that we encourage. If you see someone who normally would be outgoing, normally who would, be able to concentrate. If, for instance, even at work, when you notice that a colleague who would normally perform well begins to slow down and the performance is affected, you realize that they're not able to do their job like they used to, and it consistently happens. You might want to ask the person, okay, how are you doing? How can I help you? Is there any issue, any challenge that you're going through that we need to resolve? So those are some of the signs we encourage people to look out for.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on the fact that there are many different types of mental disorders. So a lot of people, when they hear mental disorder, they think of someone going crazy. They think of someone doing crazy things. But there must be other things we can share that can help explain that there are many different types of disorders to look out for.
Right. So basically, there's psychotic and neurotic. So the regular stress, the common mental health challenges that we know about, like stress, depression. Those fall under the neurotic challenges, and it's now common for us to have some challenge with reacting and coping with life when we go through a tough time. I say all the time, I've been saying all the time that sometimes even the stress of Nigeria, I mean, this weekend alone is enough to give you stress. But then if you're not able to properly position yourself in a way that you can cope through the challenges, for instance, that this weekend has brought, you realize that it affects your mental capability. It begins to affect your productivity. You begin to have a negative outlook, and that in itself, takes you down a spiral and you just don't know how you're able to cope. So apart from regular stress, apart from depression, anxiety, a lot of people still go through anxiety. Anxiety sometimes is common. Then, we have the more extreme cases where people go through hallucinations. They begin to see things that other people do not see. They begin to have conversations that are, that don't make sense to the regular person. Those are times when we now begin to, check to be sure, okay, how extreme? Do you need to see a therapist? Do you need to see a counselor? How can we help you through whatever is the trigger that's making you experience all of that challenges? And we find that a lot of people in their quest to suppress the stress that they go through, in their quest to cope, they resort to drugs. And so the effect of drugs is that it affects your brain and places you in a much more difficult condition that you're unable to actually perform at your optimum. So it's a discussion that we just need to continue to have so that people are aware that, yes, there'll be challenges in life. Yes, people will go through hard times, but then we have to make a conscious effort to say, okay, when do I need to take a break? How can I
completely agree. I completely agree. Now, I wanted to touch as quickly as possible on this issue of post-traumatic stress. So a lot of people in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, they go through all sorts of traumas and then they just get up and go, and they don't believe that they could have adverse reactions to things like that or things that have happened to them. For instance, on the roads, road rage, having someone hit the car and, just moving on with life as if nothing happened. But then again, they respond or react odd whenever they hear a similar sound and things like that. We haven't touched on fear much this morning. Could we touch on it a little?
Right. So for road rage or PTSD, like as it is, one of the ways people are encouraged to speak up. People are encouraged to, even if it's a family, friend, because if you talk it somewhere in your heart or somewhere in your mind, it somehow affects you as you move on with life. So it's always important to deal with when people go through traumatic experiences that, they try to run away from. It shows up in their relationships with people. The effect, it just shows up sometimes even at work. It shows up in your ability to be productive and sometimes has adverse effects on you. So we encourage people as much as possible when you go through, any experience that gives you stressors or makes you or triggers you in such a way that you don't react positively. It's important to see a counselor. It's important to speak to someone about it. It's important to we encourage people, to go for therapy. And of course, some people have fear comes from overthinking or dwelling too much on negative emotions. And so we encourage people to speak to people who have a better perspective about your life or who can encourage you to have a positive outlook, because sometimes, for instance, I found that through the course of COVID, we had someone who became really, really afraid of life, because of the many deaths around her and her family. She became very fearful, became very anxious, in the morning before the person goes to bed, they are worried and anxious and fearful. Am I going to make it tomorrow? Because of all of the news, the bad news that I've had in the past 1 month. But we encourage her to speak to a therapist. Okay, why are you afraid of dying? Why are you afraid to
I wish we could continue this, but we are pushing it on time. But I know that we can always respond to people's questions on social media. You can use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC if you have some questions for Chino. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, then now that's our way of, giving you something interesting to think about. Now, there's going to be interesting stuff in the kitchen for you to taste. Well, for me to taste, hopefully. I'm going to be heading there now. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready?
Did she just try to push the agenda?
Are you ready for me? Are you ready for me?
Okay, welcome to the kitchen, Titi. Today's chef is Chef Deborah of Messy Fresh Foods.
Yeah.
And she's made us this fantastic breakfast. So what do we call this again?
Minced meat sauce and white rice.
So we decided to put a bit of color in the rice. That's why you have carrots and celery. And so today what we'll just do is everybody will just feed their eyes. Nobody's going to have the food.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been a wonderful time on the show.
Thank
Thank you for being a part of this show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
just kidding.
We have to give a big shout out to our friends at Homely first.
Please try that.
Oh, real quick.
Homely NG, thank you so much.
Both of you should do that. Let's see.
Come on. Let's do this real quick. Real quick. Here we go.
Mazino, you didn't go for this. Babe, I trust you now. Don't
Had a bit of it.
Me? Doll? How?
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
What's it like?
All right, let's see if we can get a taste.
What's it like?
Crunchy.
Crunchy, huh?
Chef
I
Debbie.
love the crunch. I love the crunch.
What's
The tomatoes are amazing.
The meat is
tomatoes.
The meat is
The
crunchy.
minced meat
Oh.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
darling.
the way forward. Okay.
Okay, I can speak now.
Thank you so much for of course, being a part of the show today. Many thanks to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. Thank you to Mike for ending the show since, as he said, though, I don't know what he did.
What he's talking
See you tomorrow.
6 a.m. people.
Thanks to Chef Deborah. Bye.
Bye.